What is up, everyone? It is Tyler from Parallax Entertainment here with another video. Today we're going to be continuing with our 7.2.5 guide series, and of course this one is our Guardian Druid guide. So first off, I'm going to do a rundown of what we'll be getting into in this guide, and then of course we'll hop right into it. Before that, if you guys can, please go ahead and drop right into the description. Check out our Discord link and our Twitter link. Join our Discord. If you have any questions, you can contact me or the Parallax team directly about any questions you have. Also on Twitter, you can send us a DM or tweet us directly as well, and we will also respond to you. Also, we have our Patreon page linked in the description below as well. You guys can donate as much or as little as you possibly can. Please, it will very immensely help us for pushing out these guides and also just overall content. If for one of your favorite content creators or one of your favorite WoW guide creators, please guys, if you can, please, it will help us a lot. It will increase just the quality of our videos, and it will allow us to continue to do this as we grow and grow as a community. Thank you once again. Let's go ahead and get into the rundown of the guide. So first off, we're going to be having our stat priority, then we will have our talents, and then of course our rotation, and then finally our CDs, and of course mitigation. Alright guys, I wanted to go over a bit of the changes that occurred to Guardian Druids in 7.2.5 before we get into stat priority. So let's go ahead and start this off. We actually received a bit of a nerf in 7.2.5, more so on the magical damage side of fights than the physical damage side of fights. However, we did receive a slight nerf on the physical side. First off, the biggest change, we have Mark of Ursol was completely removed. That means our baseline 30% magical damage buff has completely been removed. Also, our Iron Fur, it used to provide 80% and now provides 65% of armor instead. Of course, with our artifact points, it's not super bad. It's not really that bad at all, especially if you have an artifact relic for Iron Fur, which I do at the moment. It really doesn't, I feel like it's not going to really affect us as much as we think, besides the Mark of Ursol. Going into that, we also got a bit of a nerf on the Galactic Guardian side of things. It's now down to a 7% proc chance, down from 10%. So that's about like a 30% nerf if you think about it in hundreds. Also, we got a bit of a buff to Maul. We do 650% more damage with Maul. However, it has been removed as it used to be off global cooldown. Now it's on global cooldown, and it's also a new cost for it, which is 45 rage, which it used to be 20 rage. So our Maul is now going to be actually put into our rotation more than it was before. So I hope you guys enjoy this guide, and let's get straight into the stat priority. Alright, so our stat priority in 7.2 has pretty much remained the same. First off, we have armor, which is our just overall best stat. Second, we have versatility and mastery. However, most Guardians are going with versatility over mastery now, including me. Third, we have haste. Fourth, agility. And fifth, we have critical strike. So now I want to go ahead and give you guys pretty much just what these stats do. Mastery overall, it increases your maximum health and your healing that you receive and attack power. Our critical strike, of course, gets us a better crit, and this is also converted into dodge. Versatility, pretty simple one, increases all your damage, healing done, and decreases all damage you take. Haste, this of course lowers your CD of the auto attacks, and of course all of your other abilities, which pretty much boosts your survivability, allows you to have more resources, all that good stuff. So with that in mind, just take that into opinion what you want to put first in versatility and mastery. So let's go ahead and move on into our talent. Alright guys, let's go ahead and hop right into our talent choices. In our level 15 category, this is a very fight dependent category, level 15 tier. So in the first row, we have Brambles. This is a DPS talent choice. You want to go with this when you really need to min-max your DPS in a progression fight, or you've already progressed it and you want to kill it as quick as possible. Also, we have Blood Frenzy, which is also one of the more used ones in this talent category. You're going to want to use this when you're feeling a rage starved throughout the fight. Thrash generates 2 rage each time it deals damage. Bristling Fur is also a very fight dependent. So if you have a very large damage area, like 3 to 4 times a fight that you're getting damaged a lot, you can use this throughout that area to increase insane amount of rage that you get from it, which will help you survive those 3 to 4 spots throughout the raid encounter. Alright, in level 30, this is a little bit easier of a choice. Guttural Roars is usually the go-to for every single raid encounter. Guttural Roars increases the radius of your stampeding roar by 200%, the radius of your incapacitating roar by 100%, and it reduces the cooldown of your stampeding roar by 50%. So that means you can use stampeding roar twice as much, and the radius of it is increased by 200%. So that is an insane raid cooldown. Pretty much for almost every single fight, you can use that in some way or another. Also, you can also use Wild Charge. It's very fight dependent as well. If you really need to get from one place to another, it can help you out as well. In our level 45 category, it is another one that is a little bit easier than, of course, our level 15 talent choice. So this one is Restoration Affinity, the overall survivability talent for this category. You get healed for 1.5% of your maximum health every 5 seconds. If you're full health, you heal a party member. So either way, it helps out a lot for your raid. Especially that we have the biggest health pool in the whole entire game right now. It is actually a lot of healing. You can see it on those charts, trust me. Also, Balance Affinity is also very raid encounter based upon whatever boss you're going against. Like in the, let's say the Guardian Druid Artifact Challenge, a lot of people are using the Balance Affinity because they need that extra range. So just think about that when you're choosing on this category. In our level 60 category, this is one that is very fight dependent as well. You can use it pretty much any of these. However, I usually go with Mighty Bash because it's a nice 6-second stun, I think. Yeah, okay, it's a 5-second stun. Sorry about that. Also, a lot of people, I see people going with Typhoon. It's a nice little interrupt. It pushes them back and it dazing them for 6 seconds. Mass Entanglement, I don't see it used that much overall in raid fights just because it doesn't really have that much use. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our 75 talent choice. This is also another one that we actually received the nerf in 7.2.5. I'm recording this right now in 7.2, so I just want to let you guys know that this one says your damage has a 10% chance to trigger a free automatic Moonfire. However, in 7.2.5 we did receive that nerf, so it is only 7%, down about 30% if we think about it overall in 100% form. So I think overall in 7.2.5 we're going to want to still go with the Galactic Guardian. It's not too much of a nerf on that side of it, because overall I felt that guy was always using Moonfire like way too much as a bear. I felt like I should be attacking more than I should be using a Moonfire on someone. That's just how I felt about it. But so I think it will actually make it pretty comfortable for everyone. I think it's not going to be too noticeable. Alright, also in our level 90 talent, we're going to want to go with Guardian of Balloon still. Is the passive, and Mangle increases the duration of your next Iron Fur or Mark of Versal, but guess what? Mark of Versal is gone. So that will increase only our Iron Fur by 2 seconds, or the healing of your next Frenzy regen by 20%. So in our level 100 category, this is one that you can switch between 2 of them. You either go with Rend and Tear or Pulverize. Pulverize is the one that you're going to be wanting to use if you really need to min-max your survivability, because this one, instead of being a flat-out, 6% with all the applications of Thrash, a 6% damage reduction, and this one ends up being a 9% damage reduction. If you're just using for something looking like a passive and you don't really need a progressive fight, go ahead and use it. Or if you feel that you're using too much of your global cooldown on a Pulverize, then go ahead and go with Rend and Tear. Once again, another one that is very boss dependent, and you just have to go with your instinct on that one and just try out both if you're finding it difficult to choose one on a specific fight. So that is pretty much it with talents. Let's go ahead and move on to our rotation in 7.2.5. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get straight into our rotation for 7.2.5. Even despite our changes with our Maul and of course the removal of Mark of Ursol, it really has not changed our overall rotation at all. So first off, we're going to intro with a Moonfire, and then we're going to go Thrash off cooldown. Of course, keep it always off cooldown, and keep Thrash off cooldown. Now, you want to remember that, of course, now we also have Maul. It will also have the chance to cause or activate Gore, which takes off the cooldown of our Mangle. So every time that Mangle is put off cooldown because of a proc, make sure to use it. Keep it off cooldown at all times, and make sure to keep, of course, Thrash off cooldown at all times. See how I just got that proc right there? Use it. Now also, of course, intertwine your swipes and use Moonfire if on its proc if you guys are using that Galactic Guardian talent. Just got another proc just by sitting here. And of course, remember, once again, use Mangle on its cooldown, Thrash on its cooldown, intertwine swipe, use Moonfire when you have the proc, and only use Maul if you have right here getting close to maxing out your rage pool, or you don't really need it for your Iron Fur or any of your other CDs. So it's a pretty simple one. Keep those off cooldown, keep Thrash and Mangle off cooldown, use the procs when they proc, intertwine swipe when you can, and of course use Maul if you have already maxed your rage and don't need to spend it on a Iron Fur. And that is pretty much it. Let's go ahead and get into our cooldowns. So our cooldowns are pretty simple, and our active mitigation is also even simpler in 7.2.5 because our active mitigation is Iron Fur. And also, of course, Pulverize if you've chosen that talent. I forgot to mention that in rotation, you want to use Pulverize if you have 2 stacks of your Thrash on the target. Sorry about that. So that's also part of your active mitigation if you choose Pulverize. Use your Iron Fur. That is your #1 active mitigation right now because of Mark of Ursol has been removed for magical damage mitigation. So our major CD is of course our Survival Instincts. Right now, with all my 8 artifact points and whatever that, it's up to 63%. Reduces all damage you take by 63% for 6 seconds, and it has 2 charges on a 4-minute recharge time. So pretty much the baby version of Survival Instincts is our Bark Skin. This is a drawn out CD. It lasts 14 seconds, which is a long CD, and it decreases the damage we take by 20%. And we also, of course, actually one of the best tank CDs that we have is also our artifact weapon. We have one of the best artifact weapons as tanks. It is insane. It prevents 25% of damage you take and reflects 147 nature damage back at your attacker. Also, we of course have our Frenzy Regen, and with our artifact point we have a maximum of 3 charges, and it heals you for 50% of all damage taken in the last 5 seconds over 3 seconds, and minimum 5% of your maximum health, which you won't usually be using it for when you get taken a lot of damage in the last 5 seconds. So it is very rarely that you will get only healed for 5% of your health. It is a very insanely OP cooldown that we have, and we really need to rely on these cooldowns I just mentioned. We really need to rotate those really greatly if we're going to be as successful as we were in 7.2 because of the removal of Mark of Ursol. So that is pretty much it on our rotation and cooldowns, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, if you can, please go ahead and drop in the description if you haven't already. Check out that Discord, like I said, that Twitter. Hop in there, send us a tweet, send us a DM, and we'll respond to you. Of course, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Hit that notification button to receive a notification whenever we drop a video so you can be one of the first people to watch it. And of course, we have our brand new Patreon page that we put down there. If you guys can donate any amount, it will really help us to increase our content and to improve the quality of our content. Thanks once again for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.